Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Luz. Today's video is a first impressions on NARS newest foundation, and that is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This is what the packaging looks like. It is a very standard NARS packaging with the black cardboard box and the white lettering. Of course, what really truly matters is what's in the inside, so let me show you what that looks like. So you open the box and it comes with another box, and inside this box is the actual foundation. So this is what the actual packaging of the foundation looks like. It is a very classy glass bottle, very slim. I've never owned a NARS foundation, so I'm super excited to try this one out. It comes with the plastic black top and a pump, which if you know, if you're a foundation whore like I am, you know that pumps are a must. I haven't used this foundation, but I did squeeze some out of here to make sure that the shade actually matches me in direct sunlight, because you know sometimes when you're in Sephora or when you're inside a makeup store, the lighting is completely off, and you do also want to try it out in natural daylight. But I have not put this foundation on my face, so I'm super duper excited. I have mine in the shade Aruba, and that is the medium 6 color. Meet NARS first longwear foundation that looks stronger, stays longer, with skin recognition pigments for the truest color match and 16 hours of wear, featuring NARS skin optimizing complex raspberry, apple, and watermelon extracts for smoother, healthier skin. So here is a swatch of the foundation. I'm going to pump some out right on here. It seems to be a very normal foundation consistency. It doesn't seem to be very liquidy. It just stays put when I put it upside down or side to side like this. It just seems to stay put, so I consider this to be a standard foundation consistency. And here is a swatch of the shade Aruba.
Can't wait to try this on my face.
I am going to use the primer that I use with all my foundation reviews, and that is the NYX Angel Veil primer. This is just a primer that I know works well with my skin, so I'm not going to be trying out a new primer with a new foundation, because then I won't know what really worked. Was it the primer? Was it the foundation? What failed me here? I don't know. Here, I know if something is going to fail me, it's going to be the foundation, or if something's just going to look amazingly awesome, it's going to be the foundation and not the primer. So I already moisturized my skin, and I'm going to go ahead and apply my primer. You don't need a whole lot of primer, guys, just a tiny bit will do. And I'm going to focus this on my cheek area, my T-zone. I'm going to set my primer with a little bit of Infallible Makeup Extender Setting Spray. A little bit of moisture. So now that my skin is nice and prepped, I am going to do half of my face using a brush. Today I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild brush, and on the other side I'm going to be using the Real Techniques sponge. So we shall see which gives us more coverage and the different finish that it might give. I do want to point out the imperfections on my skin and what I want to cover up. So for the most part, for me, I like to cover up this hyperpigmentation here, right over on this side, and then right over on this side as well. I have hyperpigmentation, as well as on my chin. I like for my skin to look nice and even. I know that this is more of a radiant finish, so I'm not expecting complete matteness. And just for reference, I do have normal combination skin. Since it is wintertime, I do get a little bit dry on the chin area, but I always get oily on my nose and in the center of my forehead. Everywhere else, it's pretty much normal. So let's get started. So this is what one pump looks like. It's a tiny pump. Just for reference, I'm going to pump some out of my Maybelline. That's one pump of Maybelline, and that's one pump of the Natural Radiant Foundation by NARS. As you can see, please excuse my nails. As you can see, the Maybelline one is a lot more liquidy, than the NARS one. The NARS one seems to be a little bit thicker consistency, and you get way less with one pump. So I'm going to do the side of the brush first. Ooh, this feels really creamy, like really smooth. Really, really smooth. It doesn't have a scent, which is very much appreciated. And I'm going to start off with the center of my face and dotting it on my left side of my face. The match is pretty much spot on. White dewy. Okay, so this is one pump of the foundation. I kind of was expecting a little bit more coverage, but then again, it doesn't claim to be full coverage. It doesn't claim to be full coverage on the box. Not sure what it says online. Natural radiant. It does look natural and it does look radiant. Longwear foundation. It does look very natural. It looks just like skin, and it is quite radiant. You can see the luminosity. But when it comes to evening out my skin tone, it pretty much did. On this side, I have the foundation, and on this side, I don't. As you can see, I have quite a bit of hyperpigmentation. I do have it on this side, and although it didn't cover it up 100%, you can still see like my freckle here and my sunspot here. It did even it out. So is it the most full coverage foundation? Not yet. We will see if it's buildable, but with one pump, it's not 100% full coverage. I get way more coverage with my Maybelline SuperStay foundation, but that one is very matte. So let's do the other half. I'm so curious. Such a tiny little amount of product comes out with one pump. And I'm using my wet sponge. So here I have applied the foundation on my right side with the beauty sponge. It did cover up my hyperpigmentation over on this side, but again, it's still seeping through. I feel like I get the tiniest bit more coverage with the brush on the left side compared to the sponge. Neither the brush nor the sponge did the job 100%. You can still see my spots here. Let's go in with another layer and see what we get. Okay, one more pump on the left side. I'm going to focus it where I have the most issues. I do love the color match. I do have to say, I love how smooth my skin looks. So smooth and natural and radiant, just like the name says it. And it is quite buildable. As you can see, it's covered up the redness that was seeping through on this side, as well as the hyperpigmentation that I have on this side with the second layer, and it layers on quite nicely and it's so easy to blend. So here is 2 layers on this side and 1 layer on the right side. As you can see, look at how this still seeping through. On this side, the second layer has completely covered it up. So let's go in with the second layer on the beauty blenders, on the sponge side. It doesn't seem to be oxidizing, not even with the second layer. So apply a little more right around here, which is where I have the most redness. And then right over here is where I have the hyperpigmentation. And then my chin always needs coverage. Let's do a little bit more right there. And I'm gonna go in with the sponge to blend it out. Look at how easy it blends out. I love how easy it blends out. I absolutely love that. And how smooth the skin looks. Still have a little bit left over. I'm gonna bring it up here on the forehead. I gotta say, I like the way it looks more with the brush versus the sponge. So this is the sponge side. Doesn't give as much coverage, and then this is the brush. I feel like it looks so much smoother. Based on first impressions, just finished applying the foundation. I'm going to tell you the things that I love about this foundation first. I love the color match. I feel like the shade Aruba is just dead on with the undertone and the shade. I love how smooth my skin looks. It looks like this is my skin. It doesn't feel like I have foundation on. I don't feel crinkly, I don't feel heavy, I don't feel dry. I love that it looks so natural and radiant. Just as the name says it, it captures the essence of what this foundation is. It's natural and it's radiant. Now I'm going to tell you what I don't love about this foundation. I don't love the fact that the amount of product that comes out of the pump is so small. One pump, at least for me, is not enough to even do half of my face. I feel like to get the coverage that I particularly like, I need 2 pumps. So I need 4 pumps to do my face, my whole face. And with other foundations, usually all I need are 2 pumps. That's just one thing I don't love. Well, I can't say I don't love the fact that it doesn't give full coverage because it doesn't claim to be full coverage. So it's just something that kind of irks me a little bit, that I need 4 pumps to do my whole face and it still doesn't give 100% coverage. But it doesn't claim to. I will get over it. We'll see how it wears. But overall, I'm pretty impressed, especially with the finish. I'm going to put on some concealer to see how it blends with the foundation, if it picks up on any areas of the skin, and see how if it seamlessly blends throughout the face. I don't have a NARS concealer, so I'm going to use my ColourPop, which is not a new product for me. I've used this plenty of times and I know how it works. So the concealer went on pretty good, pretty seamlessly. It did not pick up on any areas. And now I'm going to set it. I'm also going to set the rest of my face as I usually do with any foundation. I'm completely impressed at how natural my skin looks. and feels. It does not feel heavy. I'm very impressed with the color match. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my face, and I will be back with the finished face and let you know how it all went down. Alright, so I finished off the rest of my face. I didn't do anything with my eyes or my lips. I just wanted to come on here and show how great this foundation looks. I still have to see how it's going to wear throughout the day, but I am extremely impressed at how everything just went on so smoothly, so seamlessly. It looks glowy, it looks like skin, and I know I keep saying it looks like skin, but it truly just doesn't look fake at all. I look at it up front, like up close, and yeah, you can see I have the highlight and you can see where I applied the bronzer, but you can't see where the foundation is. It looks like my skin. I'm very impressed. And although it doesn't have the best coverage, once you layer on the bronzer, the highlight, the blush, your powders, everything looks covered. Everything looks even, and it doesn't look cakey. And that's the great thing about it. I think that's what makes it stand out from the other foundations that I own. The fact that it looks healthy. My skin looks healthy. I only applied the tiniest amount of bronzer, a small amount. Like, I didn't have to go heavy with it to make it look cohesive. It just, I don't know how to explain it. I love the glowiness of it, the dewiness of it.
That it looks like skin, but better.
So far, I'm very, very impressed. I will come back to do a check-in in a few hours to see if it gets oily. That's my biggest concern, whether it's going to get oily right around my T-zone. And I'm okay with dewy, but I'm not okay with super oily skin.
That color match, though. Ooh. 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 Damn. Damn, girl, you got nice skin. Ooh, girl.
Alright, so it is currently noon. I ended up putting on some eyeshadow and some lipstick or lip gloss. So this is the check-in. As you can see, I haven't gotten oily around my T-zone. It still looks pretty dewy, just like it did when I first applied it. It hasn't settled into my fine lines here, or it hasn't even cracked around my chin. It still looks like I just applied it, so I'm pretty impressed so far. This is 2-hour check-in, and I'm still giving it a 2 thumbs up just off of the 2 hours that I have been wearing it. I have to say I'm even impressed that it has not oxidized. So we're going to keep on wearing the foundation. I will check in later on in the day to let you know how it's been wearing. Alright, so it's time for another check-in. It is currently 5:48. I am going to go out to dinner, and I am looking very oily. As you can see, right around the nose, it is quite oily. It still looks pretty nice on the perimeter of the face, but where I usually get oily, it's very oily. At this time, I have had the foundation on a little bit over 8 hours. I would say that I started getting very oily around the 7th hour mark. So this is supposed to be a 16-hour wear foundation, and although it is not breaking up, it is very oily. Like I said, I'm gonna go out to dinner and I don't want to look like an oily mess, so I am going to use a little bit of powder to try to subdue the oils. I don't normally do this on foundation reviews because I want it to be the true extent of what a foundation would look like without touching up, but due to the circumstances, I am going to use some powder to get rid of the excess oil. I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline SuperStay Better Skin Powder, which is the powder that I used to set it in the first place, and a little puff, and I'm going to press it in. now that I've touched it up, I am loving the way it looks. It looks just like I applied it in the beginning, minus the oil. The sides still look flawless. So I'm going to continue wearing the foundation for the rest of the day or for the rest of the evening, and I will come back at the very end to show you what it looks like after having it worn all day long. Okay, so the earrings are about to come off and the lashes are about to come off. It is currently almost 9 o'clock and it's time for me to take off the makeup. I believe that this foundation has held up pretty good, even though it's gotten oily around the T-zone, particularly around the forehead and the nose. I did already touch up, as you probably already saw in this video. I think it looks luminous and without looking extremely oily. Those are my oily parts. My nose and the center of my forehead get oily no matter what foundation. However, once I touched up, the whole look looks like it just has been freshly applied. I have not touched up since a couple hours ago before I went out to dinner, and it still looks pretty dang good. It looks like skin. It is luminous and it has worn pretty good regardless of the T-zone. Would I recommend this product to anybody? Yes. Would I recommend this product if you're oily? No, unless you have a very, very, very good performing oil controlling primer, then yes. If you are combination, yes, I recommend this. If you are dry, yes, I recommend this. If you're oily, again, you need to have a very, 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 very well performing oil controlling primer. Other than that, this foundation gets a 2 thumbs up for me. And if you have not picked it up, I completely recommend it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please click on this little face right here to subscribe. And if you're interested in watching any of my other videos, you can click here or here and it'll take you to one of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching and have a good day.